government officials insist that this is an isolated incident.
Warning. The following program contains explicit language and mature content. It is not meant for the easily offended. So if you are an emotional pussy, please refrain from listening. Thank you and enjoy.
Back at it, the Buzz Podcast. Your boy Cujo. As you see, we got friends and all kinds of stuff. We're very festive today. I got my boy Jules back out of rehab. Man, life is good. Yeah, he's out for a Christmas break. Let him out. Yeah, the freedom is wonderful. As you see, we have a special guest here. We're going to be closing out the year 2025 of our Lord's year 2025 with one of the people that made a big impact within us this year. We've talked about him. He goes by the name of Abel Mireles. We've mentioned him. We've talked about him. We've worked with him. He was the one of the co-founders of the Jazz Exchange when we did our pillow fight. Our fundraiser for this during our pillow fight for, what was it, the middle of the year? Our summer pillow fight, our fundraiser?
Right? Or, June. Yeah, it was June.
Yeah, so we were able to get blessed to bring him on and finally, speak about everything that he does within the Jazz Exchange, within his career. He's an artist. He's a world-renowned saxophone player. Again, like I said, the founder of the Jazz Exchange, founder of Yardbird Entertainment. Many other countless things. Professor, lover of music, father, brother, dad of dogs. He's got all kinds. It's all kinds of stuff.
He got no time.
Appreciate you making the time to come out here. I know you're super busy. The day job's got you going, but I think it's important to finish the year looking forward after looking behind a little bit. And what better to look behind than when we're talking about jazz music, right?
That's right, man. Well, first of all, thanks so much for having me.
Always.
I really appreciate you guys, especially, for the collaboration we had over the summer, right before our summer workshop. It just worked out so much. I'm talking about the Jazz Exchange summer workshop that we do. This was the third year that we did it. And you guys' help just came from heaven, man. It was just like, to be honest, just talking briefly about that, we were just like, oh, my God, are we going to be able to do it? Mm-hmm. And then you guys hit us up, and you guys were like, hey, we want to do a fundraiser. And we're like, oh, shoot, let's do it. Yeah. And we were able to just, just do, pay everybody. Mm-hmm. It was just perfect. It was thanks so much for that.
So
thanks for having me.
We did a good thing.
Yeah.
It was good.
For once, we're finally in the black. We're not in the red.
Yeah.
No, dude, it was such a blessing. So thanks a lot, guys.
Dude, it was great. We're blessed enough to be able to get together with the people from Soggy Peso.
That's right.
They allowed us to use their venue, and the Rodriguez Fight Club was able to hit us up and allow us to use their ring. It took a whole community. You know what I mean? And the best part is that we had a hell of a turnout.
Yeah.
You guys put on a hell of a show. You guys were able to showcase what you guys do with the kids.
A lot of fun.
We got some great music that night.
Good fighters, it was down to the wire,
Good
though,
fights,
man.
Yeah.
To put it all together, man.
Yeah. No, it was
it was a lot of work, bro. We were sweating.
Oh,
it was hot too, though.
Yeah.
June, man, no joking about June here, man.
No, it's a different beast. But let's tell the people a little bit about what the Jazz Exchange is, because I know we did the work with it, and can you tell the people, as the co-founder, why did you even put the Jazz? What was the thought behind putting the Jazz Exchange together?
Well, look, man, I'll try to keep it brief, but I remember Candace and I, we were growing up as artists here in El Paso. We were going to UTEP, and she decided to put EP Jazz Exchange, and it was this thing. It was a website basically where she was listing all the places that had jazz. She would go and hit up different venues and be like, tell them the whole idea. hey guys, you should have jazz here, and then she would book herself or and a bunch of other people. And she was kind of doing that with another friend of ours, Steve Garduno, and I was not involved with that as much, other than I would play. And that kind of happened, and it was for for some years, and then I stopped, and then fast forward, we moved to New Jersey, to the New York metropolitan area, and so. I was doing my master's, and then I was just like, man, what am I gonna do? Like besides playing,
Yeah.
I think the Jazz Exchange now as a nonprofit, it started kind of officially there, not registered yet as a 501c3 until we moved back here. But I registered as an LLC, and we pretty much started operating as a nonprofit, but registered as an LLC in the East Coast, and basically was because we saw a gap. I personally was kind of like the first one to be like, hey, we should do this, and me and Candace were like, how are we gonna call it? I was like, I think we should call it the Jazz Exchange. It's a continuation of what you were doing, and then she was like, yeah, we should call it that. And we started in the East Coast. We started mainly doing this secret shows, and it came out of, like, we were talking about this offline, about bringing the music to the new generations.
Right.
It started, so it was tackling a bunch of different things. Like, I remember, after a couple, 2-3 years being in the East Coast, I got to meet so many amazing musicians, man. That was it's been one of the most life-changing and learning experiences in my life, to meet some of the legendary jazz musicians that all live in Jersey and New York City. I got to meet some people. I got to meet Sly Hampton, that was like 83, 84 years old, that he was one of the best jazz arrangers and trombonists, and I got to work with him for a couple of years. And also with our Harper, some of these other people that have been really important members in in the jazz history. You
Right.
know, like
Legends.
and yeah, man, living legends. I mean, that work with you name them. I mean, and we were there. I was like, man, people need to know about this,
Yeah.
because hearing these people live is just another experience, So I was like, man, we got to come up, and also I noticed that there was, it's New York. There's a lot of supply and not a lot of demand. Even in New York, there was a lot of players and not enough gigs.
Right.
And then I was already kind of, since I was young, I was like I didn't know the word entrepreneur, but I was already doing that kind of, because I remember when Ken was doing the EP Jazz, I was doing some jazz concert series where I would just charge. I don't know if you guys remember the Percolator downtown. It was a coffee shop.
Yes.
I started like a concert series, and I would charge $5 at the door. So I was already kind of entrepreneur. Even then, back then, when I was still young, I'd put like church events and stuff.
Right.
Anyway, so going back to New York, I was like, Candace, we should come up with something and create opportunities for musicians. Bring the music to new generations. How do we do all that? And we started a thing that was called secret shows.
Right.
And basically what it was is that we go and find a venue, and we talk to them about an event, and we paired a good artist, and we promote and say, hey guys, there's gonna be a Jazz Exchange secret show December 17th, and it's gonna be in this area, but we didn't say what the exact location was or who the artist was. So it was a whole experience rather than just just a concert. So we would give people hints of like, oh, this venue has been around since 18 blah blah blah. We did shows in Brooklyn, we did shows in Manhattan, we did shows in Mexico City. Damn. So basically people would be like, oh man, I want to go to this secret show.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect other than a great concert and it's gonna be paired with a really cool venue. So people would come in with an open mind. People it was very successful because we would see people that were outside of the normal people that you see at a jazz show, that are usually jazz heads and whatnot. This is where like people were like, oh yeah, I always loved jazz, but I've never been to a jazz concert. I was like, yes, that's what we want. We want people that have never been to the shows to experience it and grow our audiences. And you know, but also coming in with an open mind because they didn't know what, and they didn't know who the band was going to be, so they come in and they discover also a new artist.
Yeah.
So it was like a whole thing, and we also brought the production thing of it.
Right.
So we documented. We brought cameras and our multi-track audio record and do the post-production. And we did several shows here too. So that's kind of like really how it started, like officially. And then when we moved to El Paso, we started the education thing.
Yeah.
The whole aspect of teaching kids from 11 through 18 how to play the music, being in small combos. And now we're running, so far we have 2 small jazz combos where we have an average of like 6-7 kids in each of the combos, all the way from guitar players, piano players, horn players, trumpet, sax, or whatnot.
Yeah.
And we have also it's myself teaching, but then also Dr. Christian Jasonic, that he was there at the event over the summer. Great bass player. He also one of the cats that went out, did all his schooling, learning, and decided to come back. And so he's also teaching one of the combos. And then I have the U Jazz Orchestra too. We're actually going to play, the U Jazz Orchestra going to play for the Winterfest. On,
The downtown?
Yeah, we're going to play December 28th. 28th,
Okay.
yeah. I think it's a
All right.
Saturday. I think so. All the information is going to be
The 20th is a Sunday. So the 27th would be a Saturday.
So
Sunday then.
one of those. All the information
Hey,
is on
but
the
we
Jazz
could
Exchange.
you could do
Yeah.
it like a secret show. We don't know.
There you go.
but
It's a
you can
secret
get
show.
to-
You got to get on the Jazz Exchange to
Hey,
find out.
back to that. That sounded like a rave. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
the
Like
old
where
school
the
raves.
old school raves where you had to go
Yeah.
to a snow cone place and buy an orange snow cone, and then they'll give you a flyer.
You got to go to a bodega?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
bodega.
In California, that's how they used to have them.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
cool.
so it was like a scavenger hunt, and then you'd have to go to Hot Topic or whatever.
Right.
It was crazy.
It
but
was it was pretty interesting, man. Like
Bring
like,
that back. That'd be fun.
Hell yeah.
We actually did one too. When it just right now we kind of have the program in pause because we focus so much on the education portion of it, and also because of the whole move. We moved back. It's been almost a couple 2 years and a half or something that we moved back. But it takes a long time to just move back to a spot after being somewhere for 10 years.
Do you miss New York?
Man, I do, man. But I love it here too. I do miss a lot of things, mainly like the whole scene and the opportunities that I
And the
was
pizza.
able to get, and the pizza, and the food. I mean,
Yeah.
killing. But we got great food here too,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
But
we
you
don't
know,
have pizza like that.
But we don't.
No.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet.
Soon. So we got the bodegas. Was it the New York Deli?
Yeah, we
That
hit
shit's
that
pretty
up.
fire.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That shit's fire.
And it's open late.
The cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's fire.
The
Yeah.
chop sandwiches.
Cheese
A bunch
chop.
of those
there you
places
go.
in New York.
Yeah.
Just the bodegas.
That's
they
the way to
call
go,
them,
man.
bodegas, bro.
So how does somebody? Because you're a local kid, right?
Yeah.
How does somebody here, growing up in El Paso, where the music scene, because I'm assuming we're about the same age, give or take a few years. The music scene back in the day was Juan Gabriel, Los Tigres del Norte, all this Mexican hard, and you end up in jazz. How did you end up into that?
Well, look, I grew up in Juarez actually
Okay.
until I was 18, and then I came over here. I started at UTEP and all that. But so I was fortunate when I was very young. Well, I'm coming from a whole family of musicians from both sides. From my mom,
Okay.
and my dad. Fortunately, my dad passed away 11 years ago, but he was very much like, here are the instruments. We have always had instruments. I have 2 older brothers. They're musicians.
Nice.
So, and my other sister, but my sister's not a musician. But so I had a jazz trio since I was young, man. And my first teacher, he was very serious about the saxophone and about jazz.
Yeah.
And coming, I guess, from a family of musicians, I was kind of already oriented to good music in general. I'm not saying now I appreciate all this.
Yeah.
I remember before I would reject it. I remember growing up and being like, no, I don't want to play mariachi. I don't want to play no thing. I want to play good stuff. I want to. and the saxophone is pretty much one of my first instruments. I actually I played trumpet for a little bit before jumping to the saxophone.
Yeah.
And then but yeah, I kind of hit it off, man. I just like I loved Charlie Parker like since early on, and then I pretty much grew up as an artist here in El Paso. Like pretty much me and Candace we played so much. We were thinking about I was like, babe, I think we've actually been like bandmates longer than we've been together.
Bandmates.
What was your introduction though into like jazz? Like who could you say like, hey, this is the person that
caught your ear.
artist? Yeah, like
Charlie Parker, A.K. Bird, definitely. I think, and then Hank Mobley, John Coltrane, of course, Sonny Rollins. I mean, all of the guys, and it really inspired me. Once I really hit it seriously, and I got to meet my first teacher, I was like, man, this is what I want to do. Since I was like in middle school, my first professional gig was a New Year's Eve gig, and I was 16 years old. But also because I needed to work, I needed to make some money.
Yeah.
I would not that we were okay at home, but I didn't want to ask my mom for I wanted to buy things, and I didn't want to ask her, Mom, give me some money to buy this shoes or anything.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to start working.
around
I remember
16.
Yeah,
That's
16.
when you start buying condoms and stuff.
Usually. What are those?
I needed money.
What are those?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you practice.
Yeah. No, that's when you should start buying. So since you grew up in a family of musicians, what were they jazz musicians as well, or were they more of the traditional, I guess, contemporary musician, or like what?
Well, I had on my mom's side, my grandpa. I don't remember him, but my grandfather was trovador. He played guitar and go to bars. That's what he did for a living. And he had 8 kids, bro.
Damn.
I can't even imagine. Like he was out there hustling every day.
From one person?
Yeah, just pretty
Yeah,
No,
much.
because he was at the bar. I mean, he could have,
yeah.
No, that's good. That's
No,
good.
that's old
good.
school.
No,
That's
grandma-
old school.
Yeah, so but like he was, like he would just go out and play, and he knew all the songs of the world. So the person that I got to meet is my mom's older brother, that was pretty much my grandpa's main student since he was a kid.
Protege, huh?
And he would come to the house, and I was just like, damn, this guy is crazy. Like the way that he plays, because he was a professional guitar player. He would play for a living, and he'd go out and whatever song you wanted to sing, he would play for you. And he was kind of like what they call the requinto, so he would know all the solos and the guitar and stuff. So that was impressive. And then but not jazz musicians. None of them were jazz musicians. Also, my mom's side of the family, they like my uncle, the first one that gave me my first saxophone. He was more into rock bands. He was into Pink Floyd and all that stuff.
Hell yeah.
He dropped acid, huh?
Yeah. So he was constantly high.
He was far out,
He
man.
was constantly on something.
Yeah,
You can hear Jimmy.
no,
Jimmy.
and he played keyboards, and so it was. And then my brothers, then I would kind of just listen to everything that my brothers would, their older brothers, so everything they were listening. They were really into like a certain point, like before hitting jazz, they were into heavy metal.
Oh,
and
snap.
to death metal too. Like and they were in death metal bands, and I never played that.
Yeah.
But I remember they go out and do their gigs and stuff.
Dead
and
metal, which is like
Dead metal is like,
like
you go out to punch. When you hear that
That's
shit, you
like
go
some
out to
mosh
punch.
shit, yeah.
Yeah, no, that
yeah,
shit is
exactly,
wild.
yeah.
He punched me in the face. He must like me.
We must be friends.
Yeah, they're all friendly. It's kind
this
of a
girl
crazy
spit
thing.
at me.
We must be cool. So how did you decide? I mean, because evidently it sounds like you have a bunch of guitar players. How did you decide on the sax?
I guess I did start on guitar actually. I started playing guitar. I remember going to church, and then they gave me that. I actually kind of rejected it for a long time.
The guitar or the sax?
The music in general. I just remember like, I don't want to play. I don't
You
want
felt
to do
like
with
it
my
was
brothers.
forced on you, or what?
Yeah, like nobody was forcing it, but I just I don't know. I was like, nah, that's their thing. I
Yeah,
remember my
yeah.
brother's already going out to do. My uncles will go out to gigs, and I see him like getting ready, and I was like, that's their thing. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
But I do remember the day that I remember my mom was like, you should go. You should learn. My mom was always like, you should learn how to play guitar. And I was like,
Get the
all
chicks.
right.
Hell yeah.
And then
Guitar
one-
players get chicks.
I
Hell
know,
yeah.
yeah. And I remember going to this lesson when I was like, okay, mom, I'll go. And she my uncle let me borrow his guitar, and I went. And then the guy, it was this guy that played at church. It was free lessons, and he was like, you do this with the guitar. Just put this finger here, and then I just play it, and that was it, bro.
You were hooked.
I was like, I can't. How can this sound like this if I just
Yeah,
do
just
this?
moving your fingers.
And
Yeah.
that was it. I was hooked. I remember telling my mom, I was like, I want to go to music school. I was like, I don't know, 11, 12 or something. I was like, I want to go to school. I'll pay for it. And it was like, we don't have money to pay you for music school. And I was like, I'll pay for it. I started working,
Wow, wow.
like packing groceries or whatever. And I would pay my little school. I would give my mom money. And I would come from school and then I'd take the bus to music school. And I started classical guitar. And then I shifted to the trumpet after a while, and then for one semester, and then I just landed on the saxophone since then. I was like 12, I think, when I started playing saxophone.
Why'd you shift to the trumpet, just to try something different, or just
Yeah, I think it
fell
was
out of love
because
with the guitar?
The instrument was guitar was cool. I was getting into jazz guitar too, but I don't know, man. I don't know what it was, but I think trumpet was available, and then my brother was like. My brother Alvaro was always like influential on my decisions. Man,
Yeah.
you should do this. I think you should do that. And I was like, all right,
better
I'll
do
try.
it.
You better do.
We need a trumpet player in the band. And I was like,
And
That's
that,
what it was.
that
All
is
right,
you.
bro.
That's what it was.
and
Yeah,
I
'cause
started
that's a
playing the
big
trumpet.
change.
But I never really connected it. I don't know. Now I would love to. I was just thinking about that. I was like, I'd love to maybe get a trumpet or something.
Yeah.
But nah, just the sound with the saxophone was just so much more flexible to me. Like the way that I can change of the pitch, the sound of it, like like it's just
Damn,
clicked with
dude,
me.
you sound
It
that,
was,
you trying. That sound like you making love to that saxophone.
Well, I mean, you kind of are. I mean, you,
Well, you on finger
well,
blasting?
I mean,
it's kind of
aside
like
from the blowing, but you are.
I know, bro.
You got finger game, man.
yeah,
and then mouth game too.
Yeah.
It's like it goes.
That's
into
one way to
your
put
mouth.
it.
You use your tongue a lot, So it's like,
All right,
sorry,
all
it's
right.
not
I'm gonna
that
start
kind of
playing.
podcast.
I'm gonna start playing the sax now. I own a
Oh,
guitar.
but you're not supposed to
can't play
deep
it.
throat a sax.
Yeah, you're not supposed. Yeah, not that.
You gotta stop at a certain spot, boy. You gotta stop at a certain
No,
spot.
not that.
Damn.
Yeah,
so,
man.
dude. When your first gig, you're 16. When did you start, officially thinking like this is now my way to go through with the sax? That's how I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna make it through the jazz side as opposed to. Because with the sax, you could just about do anything, right? Because you could do R&B, you could do
Yeah.
any other thing. Like, what made you pivot straight towards? Because jazz isn't the most, I don't want to say important music out there, or it's not the most popular.
Not the most
Yeah,
popular.
it's one of the most unpopular of anything.
I know. Yeah.
Why would you go to a route of an unpopular music as opposed to the popular stuff?
But it is very important.
No. It's
It's the
because
most
that's
important,
It's
probably.
like
yeah.
the
that's where the majority of
foundation,
everything.
you know,
Yeah, it's where everything comes from.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm fortunate to teach at UTEP, and I'm teaching some of this jazz to like music appreciation classes. I
Yeah.
teach classes called Jazz to Rock, and it's 200 non-music major students. Grading is kind of crazy. Don't ask me about that. But anyways, I'm taking basically all the way from the beginning of the history of commercial music here in America, which is jazz.
Yeah.
Like before I talk a little bit about the influences of the blues. I mean, all of this is coming from the African American experience. I mean, technically, like the blues and gospel and spirituals and all of that, how it's coming together from New Orleans. I mean, try to think about this. Before jazz, there was no drum set.
Okay.
Like the drum set, the way that we know it now, that a drummer plays, was pretty much put together during the evolution of jazz. Like before that, it was marching bands. You know, everything was one person playing the kick drum, one person, and as jazz musicians, they brought that whole thing, and it's pretty cool to kind of also learn as I'm teaching too all these different details, and also learn about the history. I've learned a bunch about the local history of jazz here. It's been very, very eye opening, like some of the things that were happening, because if you think about jazz, we talk about officially 1917 is the first recording that happens in New York.
Okay.
But it's a band of musicians from New Orleans. And so, but this music was happening before the the 1900s. It's like late 1800s and whatnot. New Orleans is a whole mixture. You try to think about like the melting pot and
It's all
New
Creole.
Orleans is.
Can you pinpoint like when it started? Like this is the like hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like
hip hop is clear, right?
Yeah. Where there's a definite date that this is
Right.
Well, like I said, the people go by the first recording, which is the 1917, the documentation of, but it's not also not the best documentation of it, because this is a band of just all white musicians that were the ones that had access to the recording studio. So it's not the
sounds about right. Yeah, sounds about right.
So it's not a clear documentation of what was happening exactly.
They're just repeating and copying.
Just copy paste has been done many times before.
And it's part of the history, you know.
It is.
Then we
Gets
do
stolen. Anyways, that's a whole different thing.
then we do get like recordings of like Louis Armstrong, like in his Hot 5 and Hot 7. Now that's like okay, but we technically don't have a recording, of like what was going on in 1800s or whatever. This is a really cool thing about everybody talks about this guy, Buddy Bolden. Buddy Bolden is this trumpet player that everybody if you look up Wynton Marsalis, who's like kind of the new Miles Davis right now alive. He talks about that. There's a whole movie called Buddy Bolden too. And everybody says it's just oral history. There's no recordings. There's just one picture of him. And
I think I know
all the musicians talk about Buddy Bolden, how he was the bridge to coming from ragtime, what's going on in military bands and marching bands in New Orleans, into how he started playing the music in this kind of interesting new style, new way of interpreting this. Instead of playing the or whatever march, he would like put a little twist to it, and that's how like early New Orleans music started. And anyways, I'm sorry.
That's interesting.
Education is great.
I was just
I mean
side.
that class you're teaching. I bet you that's really eye opening for students that they
so.
didn't. No, but I'm saying as far as they're a fan of jazz if they like music because it's influenced. Just opening their eyes and what is being repeated.
And also, like, just for them to understand that this
whatever.
is their music, bro. This is I mean, I know we love classical music too as well, but technically that music is coming from Europe. This music, his music was created here, like the sound of the blues. It was not created it was not created in Africa. It does have a lot of influence from Africa, but it was created here in America. And now it's been adopted by the whole international community. I tell my students, man, when I used to do cruise ships in the bands, and I remember docking in Istanbul in Turkey and spending a couple nights there. And I'll go every time we get to a port, go out and try to find some live jazz, and very successful most of the time. And then this one, I went to this club, and I didn't know how big. Man, Istanbul is beautiful. And I remember I couldn't speak the language at all, but I went to the jazz club and I said just blues, and they were like, we played the blues, because it was just because everybody's
that's its own language.
The blues,
So one of the things also that I saw when you're you have several albums that you recorded as an artist, right? You've got how many albums do you have now?
Man, I have an album with a record label from New York City. It's called Sunnyside Records, and that's the one. The last one that I put out is called Animo. It's in all the platforms, and it's
Yeah.
kind of a fusion of well, it's most of my compositions, and I did this kind of exploration of the fusion of my roots as Mexican, like the Mexican songs. I actually am working on a documentary. I'll let you know about that.
Oh,
But
wow.
I found like basically this piece is called Sochi Pizzawatl, and I arranged it and I recorded there. And then I have like 3 in the can, bro, that
Okay.
I need to put out as soon as possible. I just need to find time and money.
Yeah, you're
But-
busyness.
But then I also have another one with Candace that I was able to produce, and we actually had
Was that with the quartet?
that was with we had Christian McBride. He's the 9-time Grammy Award bass player, and he was in the album. And that album's called Your Way, and it's on all the platforms too. We self-released that one, and then what else did I do? I also collaborated in Radham Short's organ big band. This is the amazing, legendary organist that he liked my big band that I had in the East Coast, and he was like, "Can we record an album together?" And I said, "Sure."
Yeah.
So I'm in several things, and but like I said, I'm getting ready to put out maybe like 3 or 4 albums pretty soon.
So when it comes to creating an album, as far as just like it's mainly showcasing the saxophone, right? Man, showcasing you. Like how does a jazz album come together? Or because usually like what we keep on referring to hip hop, right?
Yeah.
It's generally the story that's being told, or for a successful album, I should say, it's generally a story being told of whatever it is that they're trying to put out. How does a jazz album go about being composed and being put together?
Oh man, well, if successful, you're talking about an album too.
Yeah, because when you have because a lot of the jazz isn't. There is a lot of vocal in it, right? It's mainly just music.
Well, I mean, there is a bunch of vocal too. Like
Yeah.
for example, in this album that I put out, I had Candace to come and join me in like a couple of
She
tracks.
could sing her
but,
ass off.
But mainly, it was like, okay, this is a whole compilation of. See, if you, we were talking about earlier, jazz. There was a point. There was a golden era of jazz. Like it was the most popular style in the history of America.
What years were those?
We're talking about the 30s.
Okay.
From when the big bands. This is when people want to go outside and dance and try to think about the limitations of technology. We didn't have any amplification. So if you think about it, singers were not the main
Right.
point of attraction or the main focus. It was the horn players because you could hear them, you
Yeah.
know? So then, then the big bands is like, the era where people are dancing to this really bouncy style of music,
Okay.
And so wait, I kind of lost my. What was I gonna say?
Oh, you're good.
I'm sorry.
Like as far as the how do you go about
the
composing
putting
an
together,
album
yeah.
together?
So it has its golden years, and obviously we know it's not the most popular style of music right now. It probably keeps shifting now.
Right.
I mean, it was hip hop at a certain point. I'm not sure what it is now.
Yeah.
Pop or whatever it is. Trap or whatever.
K-pop. It's K-pop now.
K-pop. Yeah.
It was like
And-
big news. Like there wasn't a hip hop song on the top 20 or something.
I know.
First
the
time
first time in
years.
It's
Anyways.
crazy, yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
shifting.
I think is I do have kind of like an opportunity there where I don't have to actually, put together an album that is necessarily gonna have top Billboard. I'm not even trying that.
Right.
I'm trying to just put something that documents my journey, and that's what I did with this album. So I decided to put on some of this, write some stuff for for example, this song that I was telling you is like a traditional Aztec song. I totally fusion this song, I try to keep it like the most like original possible. And this is like legendary. I was doing research when I was doing my master class, and I was digging into like the music of Mexico, and I found this piece, and it's like one of those those pieces that have survived the the conversation, like it's still people up to which I was like, man, this is kind of interesting, like there was this whole civilization that was that lasted for 300 years, ruling this whole area, that had music education, that had music teachers, that had everything, so I mean, I just started digging into it, and I grabbed that piece, and then so that was kind of like also like a statement saying like, oh, there's a little bit substance, there's a lot of substance there,
Right.
So that's what I did when I pieced the album.
So, because it's like I said, it's wild for me when thinking about like music, because when you think jazz, you think about you. I don't think I could ever think of a song that has like your focus. The main focus was the vocals, because it's a lot of it is the runs that you do.
The improvisation.
Yes, the improv, the scat, and all that shit that goes on.
Yeah.
Like, how is that just when you're putting that down? Is that just you're feeling it in the moment, or do you come in with that idea already that during when I hit this certain spot of the song, I got to make a run here, or I gotta.
I see. Yeah.
How does that come together?
Well, look, I think the arts in general sometimes could be a little like mystic, or like kind of like, oh, like how does that work? Or like sometimes people see you on stage and it's like, shoot, that's crazy. Like I've never seen myself. But obviously there are ways that you can break it down. Like jazz, as I was saying earlier, is still kind of like a little over 100 years old. Considering the first recording in 1917. And so a lot of the education, I think, is still developing and also gaining credibility, and improvisation is this whole thing that you were talking about, like the runs. Basically, it's been part of it's not unique to jazz. There's also improvisation and other kinds of music, like hip hop.
Yeah, you got the freestyling.
Freestyling. It's like, but it's definitely an essential element of jazz. And so basically, the simplest way that I put it is like jazz musicians or jazz, people that play jazz music, they mostly know a body of songs, right?
Okay.
Like that have been built from like the American Songbook or compositions of jazz musicians. So we all kind of, that's like the expectation. I should know some of these songs.
Okay.
Or I should know the structure of the blues, which is also another form of a song that we use in jazz. And you're expected, one of the most important things about jazz is that it allows you to express yourself through the improvisation. Basically to tell your story.
Right.
So, I try to tell my students the same things like, look, how are you going to tell a story if you don't have any vocabulary to put sentences together? So in jazz, it's the same thing. You need to understand vocabulary. You need to know words, and you need to listen to the words. You need to listen to the recordings so that you can see how those words are pronounced, and then how they're pieced together so that you can then tell your story. But with that, in mind, you also have to know about harmony. So you need to know about the theory of it. You need to know what notes. Why? Because you need to know what notes are going to fit.
Okay.
I mean, there are people like when I was very young, I didn't know half of these things. I didn't know anything, but I could hear some things.
Yeah.
I could hear man, this note doesn't sound good, like this sounds good. This, like the whole concept of consonance and dissonance and all that. I don't need to get into it, but there's the whole point of like, this kid got it,
Right?
Or like, man, you got it, like
Right.
you got the ear, you got the talent, like which is one of the things that I remember when I was doing my undergrad at UTEP, my that we just lost him, one of my mentors, Dr. Don Wilkinson, he was always like, man, this kid. He would always tell all the teachers that, man, Abel's got a great ear, you know. Blah,
Yeah.
blah. And like I said, my teacher had told me about, my first teacher, Fortunato, had told me about chords and all that, but I didn't really fully understand. I was just going by ear.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm trying to say here is that there are structures. Basically, we play the song,
Mm-hmm.
and the song's got a melody, right?
Right.
Like, I don't know, whatever song that would be. Mary Had a Little Lamb, whatever. We all play the melody. We all know it. The band's playing. Everybody's playing what they need to play. And then once we play it, then we go, okay, now your turn to express yourself. But you're going to do it over the same structure of the song.
Right.
So the piano and the guitar and the bass, they're playing the same set of
They're
chords.
saying the same.
They're saying the same. They're playing the same song over and over. But now instead of playing the melody, you're improvising over it. You're telling your story. And then we all interacting. Oh, shoot, this guy's going left here. Let's go left for him. He's turning over here. He's going up. He's going down. And that's one of the coolest things when you have a band that is really listening, and you as a soloist, you're saying, and then they're going like, like they go with
Yeah,
you,
they
and
follow it.
they listen. That's when the magic happens, bro. That's when
You got to have a certain ear to,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
There's no way you could play jazz and get an autopilot, just kind of like, oh, I'm just playing.
Right.
This
Got to
song.
play this
Yeah.
role.
No, bro. Like everything that you're doing, you should mean it. You know, like that's what it's like. I think it's also kind of, that's why it's also complicated to play. You know, because it requires all your attention.
Yeah, you got to be on it 100%. So
Yeah.
earlier you were saying, the big bands were huge in the 30s, and that's the golden age of jazz. What was the downfall of it, or not downfall, but why did it start losing its popularity?
Yeah, it's steam.
I hope people out there don't start quoting me over here.
No,
but,
no, it's all right.
No, but this is.
I mean, we're asking the
But-
teacher
Yeah,
to teach.
yeah.
No, but and I didn't mean it to be like super like
Not the
Hey,
reason, but one
Yeah,
of the
one of the
reasons.
main
look,
reasons.
Think about it. Like the 30s is we talk about like the golden era. Everybody's going out to the dance halls, but playing this music, dancing to this music, and then this continues. But then I told students like the 40s come, and then we have people like Charlie Parker. So all the music that was being played, to try to think about, like, because now nobody dances to jazz, right?
Right.
Jazz is like somebody you go and listen to, sit down,
And a little
listen to.
smoke lounge.
yeah,
and,
yeah.
But before the core comes from, this is music that swings, that people play.
This is gangster music.
Yeah, and people would dance to it. But then we have the 40s, and we have subgenres. Swing is one of them. Then we have bebop.
Okay.
Bebop is like, basically, try to think about, like, Louis Armstrong lived through a lot of this subgenres. Same thing with Miles Davis, trumpet player. He lived through a bunch of different decades and changes in music. Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie and a bunch of other guys in New York, they started changing things up a little bit in the music. So, like I said, everything was like danceable, very easy to listen to, you're like, cool, like this is beautiful. But musicians were considered kind of entertainers, and there's nothing wrong with that, But then they also, like Bird and Dizzy, wanted to be considered as artists, you
Okay.
know. So they didn't want to play music that people were dancing to. They wanted to come, people come and listen to their music, their art. So they wanted to be considered artists other than just entertainers.
Entertainers.
Like if you think about it, like just putting those contracts, Louis Armstrong was coming out in movies now,
Right.
and he was also singing. He was a killing trumpet player, killing singer. He was the ambassador of the music. He was he's one of the first one that's the Department of State started sending out to the world to be the ambassador of the music.
Okay.
So there's pictures of him all over the world,
Right.
like being the ambassador of jazz of America, and what that represented freedom. Jazz represented freedom of expression. The Russians and the communist countries didn't like jazz at the beginning, because
Yeah.
it represented all those things, And but anyways, we go back to Harlem, and we got musicians that grew up doing that, playing. Bird is from Kansas City, and He moves to New York. Everybody starts moving to New York. New York starts becoming the mecca of jazz, and so they go and work because they gotta eat.
Yeah.
And they playing all those big bands and bar mitzvahs and whatever they need to play,
make money.
to
Yeah.
make money. And then at night, once they're done, like at 2 in the morning, they go to jam sessions.
Okay.
And
Play the deep cuts now.
there's a
Hell
spot
yeah.
there's a spot that's called, everybody narrows it down to, it's called Minton's Jazz Club, and it was in Harlem, and it's still there, but it's a new location now. And actually, Candace and I, we had a chance to play there. It was like, man, this is
History.
crazy, bro. Like
The history.
because on those after jam sessions, now the music was not geared towards like the people, it was just a form of art, to like kind of like hip hop, like it was just like, I'm here to say what I gotta say. And what do they start doing? They start shifting, like, instead of being so polite and so bouncy and whatnot, now they add in a lot of more complication, more challenging music. Like, it's faster tempos. Like when you hear Charlie Parker's first, like, your set of recordings of bebop, it's gonna be like 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
and then also, but it's documented in history books that they wanted to also do it because it was a rejection to that whole thing, of like, I'm not just, also they're black musicians,
Yeah.
and they're
So they just put out their singles and then they would just
like
do their freestyles or
Well,
their
not
deep
even
cuts. And
they weren't even recording yet. Like, this was like developing, like, on the jam sessions. That's why jam sessions are super important, for the development of a jazz musician, because a lot of stuff would happen in the moment. Like, it was not rehearsed. It was just called. But
Listen and follow.
But you had to have high level skill musicians to make it happen.
Yeah.
Like, that's why nowadays I just say, man, if you want to play jazz, you have to study bebop, because bebop is the foundation of all modern jazz. Like the language, everything. So, but then after that, it's all these different subgenres.
Yep.
But they all found it, I think, in swing and big band. So
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting, man. And also just to kind of hear, like find out about the history of this music here, man. Like,
Yeah.
I was able to teach also some of this music appreciation courses at NMSU, and what's his name? One of the professors there, he wrote a book, and the book has some nice pictures of Fats Waller's, this piano player that's one of the pillars of foundations of the music early on. And there's pictures of him and La Juarez, like, playing and hanging.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, I have a friend of mine he's the executive director of the Institute of Jazz Studies in Rutgers University.
Okay.
This art is an archive. It's the largest jazz archive in the country. It holds all the stuff that Count Basie had, like recordings, has a lot of Miles Davis things, like notes, personal books. It's an amazing. It's the largest one in the country. And I was talking to him about that. I was like, man, now that I've been back, I've been finding out about these things, and they're like for the fact that you guys remember the name of John Coltrane, right?
Yeah.
John Coltrane came to Juarez to get a divorce from his first wife, Naima.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah,
That's my man.
you had me at divorce.
He had me.
and I was just like, man, I'm sure he can. I'm sure he played, bro. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And now I was telling you guys earlier that I'm working on a documentary. I'm forever working on projects, bro. It's crazy. But I'm gonna put this out. I got a grant with South Arts. It's a great organization.
Okay.
And basically, I put out something, but I'm kind of retouching it and adding more things to it. I interview a bunch of musicians here in the whole area. Basically, the documentary is called "Swing by the Border,"
Okay.
and it's touching a little bit on mainly on the fusion of Mexican folk music and jazz from the perspective of El Paso and Juarez.
Yeah.
And so I've been interviewing musicians here in El Paso and musicians that are playing in Juarez, that live here in El Paso, and musicians in Juarez too as well. and I'm finding out some crazy things, bro. Like it was just like Juarez was like a mini Vegas. Like people like Frank Sinatra came through, Johnny Cash.
They got arrested here.
I mean, you name it. Like,
sure
and
did.
it's just like, how come we don't know this?
This history,
this history, bro.
rich
How
history.
come nobody's telling us, the new generations, about like how all the great, and it's not just. I mean, of course, it's all the amazing artists that came through, but the people that play with them, that were locals, that were great musicians too. The venues I hear, like the Chinese Palace, I hear La Fiesta, I hear, so I started digging into some of the old newspapers and stuff, and I'm finding out some great festivals that happen here, and so anyways, I'm working on it. I'm gonna piece it out. It's kind of focused. It's one of the albums that I have in the camp.
Okay.
I went to Sonic Ranch. You guys know that studio? It's out in Tornillo, and I recorded that too, and it's all my arrangements of the music, and it's a fusion of stuff. So
And a lot of great artists record there.
yeah, it's
that we don't know about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a great
Jesus
studio.
Christ.
It's a great studio.
So, coming at it as a teacher, right? When you're trying to, because the mind of students now is kind of way different. I'm assuming because of all the brain rot and all that shit that's going on now.
I know.
How do you get these students to connect, like, with the popular music that's on now? How are you able to connect that to jazz, to like the foundation of it?
Whew. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess going back to the class that I'm teaching, I basically, I would love them. I would love for them to just have a good perspective and to be able to identify what they're consuming as listeners. And you do have to teach them a couple of things. Nothing complicated. They don't need to know chords or anything like that.
Right.
But just to be able to like appreciate the music, and so I would take them through a whole journey of like listening, and explaining something. And man, you'd be surprised, like some of the students. A lot of them are like, nah, tuned out. They don't want to be. They just want an A or whatever.
They just try to do the grade.
But a lot of them, one of the things that I do is, and I'm not the only one. There's other people teaching these classes. But as part of an assignment, you have to go out. You have to go out to a show. A lot of these kids don't even listen to live music, bro.
Yeah.
Like they don't.
That's a shame.
They've never gone to a show.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, you're 18, 20, 21. You've never been to a live show. You've never listened to live music before. It's life changing, bro. When you go and listen, and some of them go and they're like, oh my god, I've never.
Sounds
been
even
to
better. A lot.
Yeah. Like,
Oh yeah.
I was like, I've never we just had a show. What's it? Thursday. we had a show yesterday at the Garrison. We had 2 big bands.
Oh shit.
We had the Border Jazz Orchestra from Las Cruces, is all professional musicians, and we had the Jazz Exchange Big Band, the one that I run. They play one set, and then we had another. And it's just massive, bro. It's like 18 people playing together.
Damn.
It's like the sound. And some of the people are like blown out.
Yeah.
And those are some of the things with the Jazz Exchange. I think people just having those opportunities for them to go out and listen to it. People listen to jazz, on the radio, and it might not be the most exciting thing, if you're not digging into it, but listening to it live, but it needs to be good quality.
Yeah.
Because one thing that's easy is to play jazz, not
Shitty.
to the
Playing shitty music.
It's really easy.
What albums would you recommend, like, for someone that says, you know what, I'm open to it, but give me an album, like, say, like, as far as us, we would be like, I don't know, like a Biggie or Illmatic, a Tribe Called Quest, just something to.
You know what?
Listen to this one. I don't even know if it's just one album. If you give me 3, that's cool.
Yeah, even
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
Just this should hook you.
I would.
That's going to represent.
Instrumental jazz. I would go to a hard bop album. So I would listen. This was also like for me, like the bridge to connect to like the open up my eyes. There's a saxophone player by the name of Hank Mobley. He is very clear. He lays it out very beautifully there. Like his melodies are so amazing. There's an album of him that's called Soul Station.
Okay.
I think you guys would dig it. I think
I'll check
if
it
you
out.
listen to it, it's got like that whole groove. It's it's like some of the best cats, one of the best rhythm section that was recording we're talking about the 40s and no, like the 60s. Sorry, and it was Art Blakey on drums, Paul Chambers on bass, and Quentin Kelly, and they're just so tight, man. And it's just, and it's not too crazy, you know, and it's got like some really nice blues soul stuff.
That's
You
my
could
shit right
hear
there.
it, bro. Like you could hear this guy's talking, bro.
I want someone to
With
make
a
me cry.
saxophone, bro.
So that's a music station, you said?
Soul Station.
Soul Station. All right, yeah. No, I'm jotting this down because
Soul Station, Hank Mobley.
yeah, because I've heard a lot of Coltrane, but there's also a lot of it, like you said. There's a lot of people that think they're listening to jazz, but it's not really jazz. It's blended in a lot with like you're talking about earlier with the blues. So like a lot of people get that kind of confused,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
like
Blues, jazz, blues.
yeah, because I know like a lot of the ways that we've usually talked about it, when it's coming to jazz, is one of the best bands that was ever put together with Tribe Called Quest. They're so jazz infused,
Yeah.
that a lot of people when they hear it, it's like, dude, they don't even pick it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's so
It's so ingrained in there.
yeah,
So like,
and it's like, dude, that's the whole foundation of the song is all jazz. Like
Yeah.
the whole fucking
And then-
album is the jazz.
Us growing up, we were exposed to it through hip hop. You know, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
brand new
Hip-hop,
heavies, the
bro.
brand new heavies, and they had like that jazz experience, and then Guru,
Q-Tip loves
Q-Tip's on that
jazz
shit, yep.
too. Q-Tip is like
And then
always
you had
mentioning
Guru
the
do
cats.
the jazzmatazz.
Yeah.
yeah. So that's how I fell in love with it.
You
Yeah.
know another one that's cool, but it's obviously now it's it's not straight. It's not a jazz album, but it's I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's my man was Roy Hargrove on trumpet. He records all the horns. You guys should check out Roy Hargrove is from Waco, Texas. He just passed away.
Yeah,
man.
not too long ago.
But Roy had his project called RH Factor.
Okay.
And he did a lot of fusion with like some hip hop you guys should check out that album with D'Angelo, man. He
Oh yeah,
it's not Voodoo, but
it's the one after that.
Yeah. The
when
Untitled?
when D'Angelo came back, it was
Yeah.
the Vanguard.
Black
know,
it's not Black Messiah, right? Or what is it?
It could have been.
Man, it's
R.I.P.
passed out too,
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
He
Yeah.
just passed away too.
You-
he
Yeah, we're
just
losing
passed
them all.
away.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, he was a talent, man.
Yeah, we're losing them all, man.
Golly. I think that's an interesting thing too, because I have the honor to actually know Christian McBride, because Christian McBride, like I was saying, he was part of the album, and
Yeah.
we had a close relationship with him. He was cool. He came to our house, and him and his wife, and me and Candace cooked for them. I'm gonna talk about this is a guy that I listened since I was like 11, and I was like, man, this guy can play. Then meeting him and then being in the studio with him for me was like,
And working with him, that's
Word, I was
crazy.
like,
Yeah, that's.
damn. He
yeah.
called me for a couple subs for his big man. Anyways, he's an example, and sometimes we talk about this because he was like like 15 years old. He was in recordings with like Joe Henderson, like this like older jazz musicians realize jazz musicians are having this 15-year-old kid in the studio because this kid is in another level, But then
prodigy,
now
yeah.
we're talking about him, and when we were in New York, we lost several people there. Some of the legends, we lost Jimmy Heath, was this saxophone player from Philly that would work with Miles Davis, passed away. Like we hitting that whole,
time,
I
though.
mean, Roy left at a very. I got to play with Roy Hargrove for
I
a
was
little
gonna
bit.
ask if you met him. Yeah.
I mean, at jam sessions, and I met him several times. He taught. I remember there's a spot in New York that's called Smalls Jazz Club. If you ever go to New York, go to Smalls Club. It's a basement, and it's a small, tiny spot. But and Roy was always there when he was, because he was always touring. So when he was not touring, this guy, this is like, for me, he embodied like the whole essence of being a jazz musician or being a musician in general.
He loved
Like,
to party though.
He loved to.
Yeah,
He did.
He did. My brother saw him in L.A. Yeah. That's a whole different story. But
He did like to party.
He liked to party.
But
a lot.
he also loved the music so much, bro, that like, it didn't matter if it was Roy Hargrove coming off of a major festival in Europe.
Yeah.
He was playing with the kid that jump on the jam session, and his thing was, so what I'm saying, it's like, it was like, oh, I'm not gonna play because I'm Roy Hargrove. You know what I mean? Like, I just came from like a fest. No, he was, because he loved the music, and he also felt the need to pass on that to the new gen. So I remember like sitting in one time, and then I didn't know he was there, and then he like came up, and I got so nervous, bro. I was like, oh damn, like here he comes. And then I forgot the melody of the bridge of the tune we were playing, and then he taught it to me there, and I was like, damn, bro. I could tell that to my grandkids.
Yes, that's awesome. Man.
Who are some of the people that you've been blessed to play with? Because I know when we were talking to Candace would always, one of the names she kept on mentioning that you were able to, when you're up in New York, that you were playing with some big names out there. That you got to play with John Legend.
I did play with John Legend. We filmed a thing there. I filmed something with, this was through my friend Ray Chu and the crew. I don't know if you guys remember that name, but they were like, he's the music director. He's the band of the Apollo, the Showtime of the Apollo.
Yeah.
And so he's been around. He's been a music director for a lot of people, for Alicia Keys. He worked with, just name it. Like, the guy's been around.
Yeah.
And he put me in a couple of these things of the lighting of the Christmas tree, in Rockefeller Center. So I filmed with Atop of the Rock with John, and also with Alihi Carvalho, the voice of Moana.
Okay.
Also Martina McBride. We did the whole, where the angel is, like, we were like right in front of there, like right under the tree.
Right.
But then also, man, I got blessed. I played the Apollo Theater with Bell Biv DeVoe. I played
what?
I played
Bell Biv DeVoe.
I played Poison with Bell
You
Biv
did?
DeVoe.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, bro.
Yo, okay.
With LL Cool J, I played with LL Cool J. I played with I was blessed. That's one of the reasons I was like, man, when I moved to El Paso, I was like, I know that's gonna kind of stop a little bit, but because we don't have those artists here. But I still go back and I play. He calls me for a show that we do at Carnegie Hall, and he brings a bunch of like gospel artists, like but heavy, like Israel Hutton, like top guys. So yeah, I got through Salt and Pepper. We played with them too, with CeeLo Green. Play with CeeLo. Play crazy with CeeLo Green. I remember growing up in all these bands playing, and then I was like, damn, I played with CeeLo Green. This tune that I've been playing forever.
Crazy.
Did you geek out with any of these guys? Like, were you aware? I'm sure you're aware of who they were, right?
Of course,
Like, did you ever geek out with any of these cats, like big time, or like with a Bell Biv DeVoe or a fucking LL Cool J? The generational. Yeah, this is here for generations.
Rum DNC, I played with Rum DNC.
I'm gonna slap you.
Oh my god,
dude, that was killing. Bro.
So how did
honestly,
that happen?
A lot of times,
was Jam Master Jay still around, or was it after he passed?
After he passed,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But
I would with WU-TANG too. With some, we played a
hold on.
we played a show at. My buddy's the one that booked it, but we played at one of his stores in Harlem.
Okay. The Rizzes?
Yes.
I'm a little moist. And then, no, as you were.
He's about to finish right now. Hold on.
But
Don't
dude,
stop.
that's the thing. When you live in an area like that and you're ready, and you're cool. You
Yeah.
also gotta be cool. That's what I've been.
I'm not gonna stroke my own dick, but if I'm cool.
I've been sending some of my students, like they're now graduating for some of the programs. I'm like, man, I hook you up. I'll let you know. I'll connect you with.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? When you're in a scene like that, you're competing with some of the top of the best in the world, bro. Everybody from all over the world is trying to get that gig.
Yeah.
And so, you gotta be yourself. You gotta be genuine. You gotta be like ready.
Yeah.
You also gotta be available, bro.
Yeah.
I remember a ton of times when they call me and then I was like, oh man, Carnegie Hall, but I already got all these different things, blah blah blah. All right, I'm just gonna have to sub him out because I need to do this. This is important
Yep.
for my career. Carnegie
Right.
Hall, the Apollo. A lot of these things I had to do them.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, man, it was such a
You didn't get
blessing.
kicked out the Apollo, right? Like,
You gonna get hooked.
I rubbed the
Oh, did you? The tree stump or
Yeah, the
whatever?
tree thing.
That's
bro.
crazy.
Wait, let's go back to the Wu-Tang thing. Like, what when you played? When you say you played with
Well,
them, what do you mean? Like, was it a live show? Was it
Well,
a?
we did a couple shows. Like I said, Ray Chu. I was playing with Ray Chu and the crew, right?
Uh-huh.
And so he would put shows together like this, and since he worked with all of these artists, he would bring it. Well, also we played with one time with and a lot of people. I'm forgetting here, but what was her name? She's very very. She's older now, but. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that he would line up all these different artists, and the whole band would play a couple tunes with this artist.
Yeah.
So it was also very cool to see that side of the business, bro. Like how this guy, Ray Chu, is a piano player. He's a music director. He's the MD. Right now, he's the music director for a show, Dancing with the Stars. He's been doing it for
shit.
all the
Okay.
seasons, And so, just to see him how he would handle all of this. These are like big names,
Oh,
bro.
hell
Yeah, yeah.
And they'll all have their egos, bro.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And they're not trying to be there for like 5 hours waiting for no, bro.
Yeah.
They go in, they got 30 minutes, 20 minutes, they go
They're
out.
out.
So, just to see that end of the business, like
The way it's
like
all
the whole
organized.
band,
Yeah.
I was like, man, and also to keep it cool, like
Yeah.
if one of them, man, I'm forgetting her name,
Name a song.
but
She's a rapper?
No,
Oh.
she's a. Anyways, she sings very soft,
Okay.
and she didn't change her volume, bro.
Uh-huh.
And then the whole band had to be like,
Bring it down.
Yeah, we were all excited and playing, but she was like, here's a microphone, this is my volume. And she sounded beautiful, but she was not going to yell, and she was not going to.
Yeah.
And then, then sometimes that kind of created some tension and stuff, but the way that Ray as a music director, kind of would handle it, bro. I was like,
Man, I'm curious. Who is that?
I'm trying to think of soft spoken, soft smoke.
spoken. Is it like an R&B girl? Neo
She more of a pop
man.
or
She's very famous. She's older now, way older. It's gonna come back to me, bro. But just with artists like that, it's to me it was just like doing some of those shows with John and them. Like it was just like. You and also I remember Candace was like, "What? Weren't you excited about?" I was like, "I was, but I had to
can't
get in
show
the
it, yeah.
zone."
yeah. You have
though.
to be a professional.
You have to get in the zone. I couldn't be a fanboy sometimes. Sometimes I'd be like, "Hey, is there a chance for a picture?"
Yeah,
But a lot of times they don't want. I mean, they don't want that. I mean, they get it all the time, bro. So it's
Yeah.
like sometimes they just want a simple conversation.
Like
"Hey, what's up,
Ghostface,
man?"
come over here.
Come here, motherfucker. So when you see somebody like that, again, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna keep going back to the Wu-Tang. So I'm satisfied with all your answers. When you see, was it the whole clan? Was it just RZA? Was it just?
It was the whole clan. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Hold
I
on.
didn't do too many
Let me
dates with
compose.
them, bro. But
You
but-
did something,
yeah,
though.
I did. Yeah, that was-
Who'd you get high with the most?
It's gotta be It's gotta be
know.
Method Man, right?
gotta
It's
be.
gotta be. It's
Yeah.
gotta be.
Yeah, 'cause
Wu-Tang, bro.
Wu-Tang's me though. I'm
Did he
taking
have
that
a
to my
friend
grave.
named? Did he have a friend named Redman there?
That was
So,
crazy, bro.
What was the ego like? Playing with them specifically.
The ego,
Yeah, was there like a big ego? Because I mean, they're one of very few bands that could say that, they're fucking a pillar to that music.
Right.
They're they could go on the Mount Rushmore with a very few other, or a handful of other people. Did they have a huge ego when they were playing, or was it just they're just too high to even know? Or,
No, they were just all the artists. I mean, that I got a chance to play with. They were super professional. I mean, CeeLo came with a whole team that was dressed just like him.
all crazy. and shit.
yeah.
They all match outfits, and I was like, it was a bunch of people. He came with his whole crew, and that was to me, it was like, oh, cool, like that's cool, you
Yeah.
know. But never, I mean, very some of them are very private, you know.
Yeah.
Like
That's putting it nicely.
Yeah, because it's because like when I think of the RZA, he seems like it's like since he's so into the foundational music part, like he seems like he's like it's got to be perfection every time because of the ear that he has.
Yeah, no, and then that's when Ray would come in. Ray was just a master, you know, just all the experience, all the years,
A lot of balance.
how to deal with
and
these people, like how to, like, hey, this you know, this artist is not liking this, and I remember we didn't have a problem with them. And
Yeah.
like I said, we didn't extensively work a lot with them, but like it was several artists. Hey, here's a couple songs. Next artist gonna do this. Next artist gonna do that, and but you know, that's for me. Like I was just like the people that the people don't talk about. You know, like Ray Shu kept the cool with all of these artists. You know, like just one come in did their thing, and then the next one will come in and do the thing. You know, and people were like going crazy. You know, and the audience and but yeah, I wish I could have like hang out more and stuff with the artists, but it was more of a professional thing. Like they come in, they hang out, you know, backstage, through talk and stuff. But you know, it's you know, I wanted to like I remember talking to Candace. I remember when I did the first thing with Lihi Carvalho that came out. Both, I mean, all those shows came on national TV. I guess. And she was like, "So who do you play with?" And I was like, "I don't know, this girl Lihi Carvalho." And she was like, "She's the voice of Moana." You know? And I was like, "I didn't know." You know, I was just also like, "Dude, like,
I'm an adult.
like one, like one time they actually also offered me like to be part of. I almost did that to be in that Netflix show. God damn it, man. I'm just forgetting the names of it, but it's about this girl that she's a comedian. And anyways, I almost did it, and I almost dropped everything. That's kind of like the entertainment world. It's kind of like that too. Like the those opportunities expect you, like the entertainers, to kind of like drop everything. Like I was, I was almost ready to do it. Because I was gonna be like in the whole season.
Yeah.
I was gonna. It's kind of a jazz oriented. She's a comedian in New York. She's Jewish, and then she, you know, you know what I'm talking about. What's the name of the show? I forget. Kind of forgot about it because they didn't hire me. So yeah. But I was already teaching at the college over there. I was doing all my gigs. I was teaching. I was playing. I was recording. I was doing that, and then they called me for that, and I was like, damn, I have to be at the studio 5 a.m. every day, you know, and be there for like 12 hours, you know, to film every day. The money was killing, but I had to drop everything I worked for, you know, like for years. And, you know, some decisions you got to take.
Sometimes it doesn't make sense for you.
Yeah.
Regardless of who it is. Yeah. I know one of the things that I was talking to Jules about a few weeks ago. I was able to make it. I don't know if you ever made it out to the candlelight dinners. Yeah. The shows. They had a 90s melody hip hop night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Fucking phenomenal. It was a 4-string
really?
quartet. Oh, they're coming back in February. Cool? They're coming back in February to do it again.
I wanted to see the Metallica one.
Yeah, well, actually, on my birthday, they did a tribute of Queen and the Beatles
with the strings, with the quartet.
Yeah, dude, that 90s. Like, if you ever want to fuse the younger people with true music, like you said, listening to it live, these 4 guys, dude, they're fucking amazing. Really? And I think, because I remember we were talking, going back to the secret shows, when we had Candace on, I went to one of her secret shows at the, it wasn't at the Garrison, it was at the Rosewood. Yeah. I want to say the main guy that she had on there was the main dude from the quartet that was playing. Really? This last week, and I can't remember the guy's name for the life of me.
You know, we did a candlelight.
Dude, those things are fucking.
They're cool.
They're amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think they're owned by Warner Brothers or something now.
Really?
Yeah, it's Fever, but Warner Brothers in there or something. So it's they backed by a corporate, you know, and but they're pretty cool put together. Yeah, I love the way that they bring people, a whole experience to the people, and some musical experience. Mm-hmm. We did a Christmas show for them, and they want me to do a couple other things. So I'm kind of like their jazz guy in this area in El Paso. So so they might hit me up for some of the things.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's just a 1-hour show. It's in out. You go. Because I remember the hip hop one started at 8:30, And
Yeah,
at
there's like 2
six,
shows, right?
yeah, at six they did a lute or a celebration of Adele.
Oh,
And I was like, holy, just thinking about
Oh,
the
the
whole,
shift, like, boom.
yeah, I was like, holy crap. But dude, it was amazing. It was fucking
Yeah.
amazing show.
I'm glad they're doing some of those things. Yeah.
yeah. If you ever get, when they come back in February, I think I'm gonna have to go see them again.
That's a cool venue though too, right?
Dude, it's a beautiful
Yeah.
venue. It is a
Yeah.
beautiful
Or is it that
venue.
railroad?
You're
place
talking
there?
Yeah.
about What is it?
St. Rogers Depot.
St. Rogers Depot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, oh, dude, it's amazing just
Good
going to
setting.
the show.
Yeah.
All right, dude, so I know we got a lot going, and we could talk for another fucking 3
I'm
hours.
sorry.
No,
Yeah,
you're
no,
good.
yeah,
You're good. But now's the time of the show where we have a new thing called
Uh-oh.
10 Shots No Chaser.
Yikes.
This is gonna be the jazz Abel Mireles edition.
No line.
So basically, the way it goes, 10 off the top questions, just things that we've thought about, things that we put together. First thing that comes to your head, whatever it is, put it out there and let's see what we got.
All right.
Ready? All right. So
No, but
no, but and
When
make
did-
for a fun talk.
When did you get laid? no, that's not what. Don't answer that.
It's those jazz fingers, spirit fingers, spirit fingers,
Well, technically, I
saxophone
have.
fingers.
saxophone fingers. All right. So the first one. So if jazz clubs have entrance music, the way the wrestlers or fighters do, what song are you walking out to and why?
Moment's Notice by John Coltrane because of the intensity of it.
Okay. So be honest. What's the most unjazzed thing you listen to when nobody's around?
Guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
You roll up the windows and you're
sing your
ashamed
ass
of it. You can't even look in the mirror afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man! It's gotta be. It's got. I don't know. I don't know if I can say it.
Yeah, that's okay.
So it's Bad
Well,
Bunny,
this-
right?
Yeah, it's Bad Bunny. No, I'm just kidding. No,
You're
you
in
know
the same
what?
space.
Salsa, bro.
Salsa?
Salsa. Yeah. I
Okay.
like-
Well,
I
that's
like
not bad. That's
No,
not,
it's not
I thought it was
bad.
gonna be worse. I
Yeah.
thought it was gonna
Yeah.
be Britney Spears or something.
All right. So you spent years grinding in New York before coming back home to El Paso. At what point did you realize that success doesn't always mean staying where the industry says you should?
At the point that I knew I had to build something in my community, you know, like that's when I realized, like, okay, or you know, when I realized we were creating opportunities over there, and I realized I was like, man, we can do that back home too.
Yeah.
We should, you know.
We should.
It's been very challenging, but we're working on it.
There you go.
We're working on it.
So what's harder, improvising a sax solo in front of a world-class musicians or teaching students who think they already know everything?
Teaching students that think they already know.
Think they already know everything? All
Yeah.
right. So El Paso don't always get the credit it deserves. What does the border give your music that New York never could?
Man, the history here. I think that's what we need. That's what I'm trying to embrace. You know, the roots of this. Like, what is our story?
Yeah.
That's
The
what I'm
untapped history. Huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm really into it. Yeah, I just need to do more learning, and digging, and writing, and recording. But that's the whole idea too. You know?
Okay. So do you think that talent matters more than connections, or is that a lie that musicians tell themselves to sleep better?
Man, connections. I mean, to be a successful, I mean, you have to. It's the balance is
Right.
because when you talk about talent now, they're very lazy, talented people. You know, I'm talking about, like, you know, being good musicians that works on their stuff good. But then I met so many musicians in New York that nobody knows them. They're amazing musicians, and they never went out to meet people. So I think it's a balance, bro.
Okay.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
So what's overrated in music right now that nobody wants to say out loud?
I think it's just the desire to, like, sell, you know, and just sell stuff, like, without thinking about the music, or just sticking to what you think is you or what represents you. You know.
Okay. So the
So
sellout.
just- I think so. I
Okay.
mean, maybe more things, but let's focus on that
Okay.
one.
Have you ever wanted to quit music? And if so, what stopped you?
Oh shoot. I don't think so, man. I
No?
don't think I ever wanted to. I don't know. I just been doing music all my life.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I mean, it gets hard. It's not an easy path for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Just keep digging in. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
think. I don't think I ever wanted to quit.
That's good. That's dedication.
There
for
are.
sure.
I do. Some people are like, "Oh, I retired." And I'm like, "No, you can't retire from music, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you're a musician all your life. That's
Yeah.
it. You know, just taking a pause, I guess." But
Okay. So is social media ruining music or exposing who was never that good to begin with?
I think social media is a tool that could be used for good and for a lot of bad. I think that I think there's good stuff out there. People that we didn't know that they're out there, and that now we able to access to them.
Yeah.
But certainly there's misguided people, you know, that
Yep.
are definitely not using it the right way, and then they're also getting a lot of recognition, you know,
When they shouldn't.
When they shouldn't.
Yep.
Double-edged
Kardashians.
sword.
The Kardashians.
Yeah. It was
No
like,
talent, but famous
Go
as fuck.
go practice your arpeggios, man. Come back and do a video about it.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the last one we got for you. Do you think music school creates artists or does it kill creativity?
Whew.
Shots fired.
Don't play this for
Be
any of my
careful.
colleagues at UTEP, all right? No,
careful.
No. I think music school, right?
Yeah,
We're talking-
music schools.
I think music school is a place where we come and meet people that we can make music with, you know, in the process we learn from them.
Yeah.
And I think we've forgotten about that, you know, like the fact that we could be making like the next project, you know, and you know, the next proposal of new music to come. But we get so ingrained in the whole fact of, oh no, I'm just here to learn how to. No, you go to music. My experience when I went to yes, I learned things, but I learned your peers, bro. That is the community of musicians you want to be in a place like that. In a music school where when you're about to, like, after 3 hours, you're about to finish practicing, but then the cat that was next to you in the practice room is going for another 2 hours, and you're like, well, I better keep going,
Right.
you know? That's the place where you want to be. Like, where like everybody is pushing
Each other.
pushing. And because you could have the best teachers of the world, but if you don't have a community that's pushing,
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard for you to get better. You know,
Damn.
that's what I'm trying to build here in UTEP at UTEP and at the Jazz Exchange too.
Yeah.
Like, hey, and it doesn't have to be ugly. You know, it doesn't have to be like, hey, I'm so better than you or whatever. No. It's just
Just
show me then.
facts.
Show me, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
oh shoot, like,
You'll
let me-
know.
yeah, just got that thing that's like, I'm gonna cut this guy, you know, like,
Yeah.
all right, go and cut him then, you know, like with the music. Don't punch
No,
him in
yeah,
the
no,
face, though.
it's
Not
not-
with a
that'd be
knife.
some
Not with a
weight.
knife.
Not with
No,
a-
Yeah, that means
not
a
with
lot,
knife.
something different way to a lot of
Yeah.
people.
I tried doing that
cut him,
one
man.
time. It didn't work out.
No.
But
All right. So one bonus
Guys.
question: what's the best jazz or jazz orientated movie that somebody could see and actually fall in love with jazz?
Oh shoot, I like Bird.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. I think it's a good bridge. You guys check it out. It's about the life of Charlie Parker. I mean, you know, it's in the jazz community don't like it, but I think it's a good bridge.
Okay.
It's cool. You know, you'll see who he was and the things that he did.
why don't
and-
they like it? It's like watered
I
down.
don't know. You know, jazz musicians kind of like, you know, get too intense about things, you know, but
He didn't play
I think
like
it's
that.
yeah, it's not him, you know, this and that. Bird wasn't this. Like I said, it's a developing, still like very relative, like a little over 100 years old kind of genre, basically. Older than hip hop.
Yeah, for sure.
About 50 years off and off.
Yeah.
But not too, I mean, compared to classical music, it's been for hundreds of years, you know, like it's still kind of developing. So there's a lot of people that that have not been mentioned in jazz history books that people are upset about, you know. And
Who are some of the people that we should know that people don't?
there's a lot of people like, you know, in Newark that was right next to New York City.
Yeah.
A lot of the jazz books don't talk about Newark. They just talk about Manhattan,
Right.
Or you know, so they don't talk about half of the musicians that were actually part of the scene in New York, but they also lived in Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah, yeah.
And all the clubs that they play and all the people. So I got to kind of learn about some of those musicians that are not in the books. Nobody knows about. Barry Harris is one of them that's not so well mentioned. It's a lot of unsung heroes, I think.
What is it you think that keeps them out of the that keeps them unmentioned?
Well, it's also like the people who are writing the books too. You know, like
Who's
it's
telling the
just-
history.
Yeah, bro. Like it's that too. That's why I just tell my students about this. You know, and not just I'm not teaching just jazz. I'm teaching some of this commercial music classes. I was like, if we want our industry to go in a certain direction, we can't expect that other people are going to do it for us. We do have to know about the music and focus on developing our skills as musicians, but we gotta get our hands in the business too, bro. We gotta know, we gotta bring our artistic creativity into the business. Like we have to do it. We have to be entrepreneurs too. So
Best way to go.
yep.
That's Abel Mireles, dude. Appreciate you, musician, saxophone maestro, all around teacher of of everything. Co-founder of the Jazz Exchange, and also what is it, Yardbird?
Yarborough and Border Entertainment now.
And
the
Border
one that I have here,
Entertainment?
yeah.
Unofficial member of the WU-TAG.
Yeah, he's the 10th member.
Yeah. He's one of the chambers.
Yeah, he's right under Sons of God,
Right under there.
right under Killer Army.
Yeah.
He's got his own. He's the jazz chamber. So before we sign off, Abel, is there any last words you'd like to put out there to anybody either listening to, either who are lovers of music, or just want to learn something different than what's out there?
Man, well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for having me with Buzz Podcast, and Joe and Jules. Thanks so much for what you guys do and keep it real for sure. And just go out and listen to music, man. Whatever it is, go out and listen to some live music if you get a chance. If you want to dig in more, go and talk to the musicians. What they're doing, what they're working on. And I think that's also be part of the community. Come out. So yeah, that's what I like to say.
Best way to do it with being part of the community is go out and support the secret shows that the Jazz Exchange do.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was able to go catch one of the shows that you guys had down at the Rosewood, and
That's right.
being a lover of music that I am, it's way different hearing it live and seeing where you can feel the struggle of the musician, you can feel what he's feeling in the moment.
Yep.
It's so much more of a great appreciation, especially for somebody who doesn't know how to play an instrument like myself. But
I can beatbox.
There you go. There you go.
I could press play. That's about it.
I can play the tambourine, maybe.
Yeah, you need some talent for that too.
Play a bean kettlebell. But yeah, it's super important to, it not only supporting the vision of certain people or their dreams, but the music is just something that we need to keep going, because it's so. It could be inspirational or motivational for certain people, and for some people,
it could be life changing too.
Yeah, absolutely,
definitely.
So we got to go ahead and Abel Mireles on Instagram. Where else could they find you?
You can go to my website, abelmireles.com too. You could go UTEP website too. More information there, the stuff that I'm doing there. And also, Border Entertainment now. Basically, it's a booking company. It's also a production company. So we're doing some audio and video production, trying to do like a little tiny desk like I was telling you guys. So creating some of the outlets for artists to come out and document their stuff. So,
and of course, the Jazz Exchange.
The Jazz Exchange, of course.
Teaching across borders. The love of the music and the love of just being a musician.
Yeah,
I appreciate you, man. It's ain't nothing but the best. Can't wait to work with you again on certain ideas or certain whatever comes about. maybe another fundraiser. Hell,
I like your ideas that you were telling me, man.
Which one? The porn music?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, all right.
that's gonna be
Bring
our
it, bringing jazz back to porn.
Oh, hell yeah, bro. Jazz, bring it back.
Making jazz great again.
There you go.
Bringing jazz back to OnlyFans. That's the way we're going, boys. So till next time, guys, on our behalf, for the end of the year, enjoy your Christmas, enjoy your New Year's. Happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, happy holidays. Stay safe. Don't be an asshole. See you in 2026.
Peace
Deuces.
out.